Well, life in the Premier League is still as miserable as ever, but today we have the chance to take a huge step to potentially a League Cup final.
As the Uruguayan curls one in. Oh, Middlesbrough take the lead!
What is up, guys? Matthew here. Welcome to another episode of our Project Boro career mode here on FM24. Today we are here for, well, quite a lot, to be honest with you. I think I might skip the FA Cup third round game against Hull City because we have simply got bigger fish to fry, if that can be a pun on Brighton being on the south coast. Seagulls, I don't know. Anyway, today we've got three games, essentially. We've got a game in the Premier League, firstly up at home to Brentford. I think I will skip the whole game in the FA Cup third round because my focus is fully on the opening leg away to Brighton in the Carabao Cup semi-final. And then we have Brighton in the league. And it's tough. It continues to be really, really tough. We were talking about whether we would last if we lost every game between the end of the last episode and New Year, and well, we did that, but we're still here. Obviously, last time you guys were with me, we did record back-to-back wins in League and Cup, beating Tottenham and Blackburn. We sadly went to Bournemouth, and let's be fair, Boro never win at Bournemouth in real life anyway, but we went to Bournemouth, who are doing really well this season in fairness, and we lost 3-1. We then went to Aston Villa, another team flying high, third currently in the Premier League. So we played Bournemouth, who have dropped off a bit. They were top half when we played them. We then went to third place Aston Villa, lost narrowly 1-0. Actually put up a very valiant performance in that one, and could have came away with something, but conceded early and could never quite get back into it. Iguchi picked up an injury in that one to continue our bad luck on that front. We then lost 3-1 at home to Chelsea. We got a consolation goal at the end, but we were well beaten by Chelsea. Goals from Nicolas Gonzalez and Wesley Fofana in that one. The biggest blow was losing away to our direct relegation rivals, Wolves. This was a huge opportunity for us to claw them into the drop, and essentially we escaped from it. And it was a tight game, not much going on, but in typical FM fashion, it kicks you where it hurts. And it was an own goal from Totti, who we signed from Wolves, who gave them the win in the most typical of FM outcomes. This is how it transpired. It was in the 80th minute. The ball was played across. I don't see where it hit Totti, but apparently it was going off target, hit him and went in, hence the own goal. And we lost 1-0 to our direct rivals. So that leaves us currently in the relegation zone, 2 points from safety. Blackburn just ahead of us, Newcastle just outside the drop zone as well. My worry at this point is I just don't see that fourth team who we could battle with and escape the drop zone against. Newcastle will, I think for sure, steer clear eventually. Wolves maybe might remain in and around it. I can't see Brighton getting dragged into it either. It could be Blackburn, Boro and Norwich. Simply the three of us relegated. And that's it. You know, if the gap opens up between 17th and 18th, it could be curtains anywhere. We just need that fourth team who we can drag in, and I don't see who that team is at the moment. Obviously, it is the 1st of January, so we're trying to make as many moves as possible in terms of the transfer window. We have tried throwing in a few offers so far. We are, of course, focusing mostly on loans. We were turned down by somebody, can't recall who it was now, but we have got 3 possible loan signings in the pipeline. We are looking to bring back Marcus Tavernier from Celtic. He, of course, left Boro, played for Bournemouth in the Premier League, was a very good player for them in the Premier League. Is still only a good Championship player, weirdly enough, but has the potential to be decent Prem level. He's going to give us more depth on the left-hand side. Pellistri, I think, rejected us once before, but we're going to try again to see what comes of it. And another player who's rejected us before is Matis Tell. He is an incredible striker from Bayern. He was at Nottingham Forest last season in the Championship, so I find it bonkers that he suddenly looks at us in the Premier League and deems we are not good enough. So, yeah, I have a feeling these two won't join. Tav seems very eager to come back to the Boro, and that will hopefully allow Alex Bangura to go the other way. He wants out. A couple of loan offers have come in for him, which we're just waiting to accept once Tav officially joins. And other than that, we're just still looking around, seeing what we can do. We are limited to loans from outside of England because we've already got 2 from the Premier League and we can't have any more. So yeah, we're trying to work as cleverly as we can within the budget that is available to us. But we might have to just accept that maybe we need to have an eye on maybe playing in the Championship next season. And maybe we just have to accept that to stay in the Premier League, we might have to go back down, build an incredible squad with the parachute payments, and then come up again better prepared next time round. That's my long-term glass half full look on it if we don't stay up this season, which is starting to look ever more unlikely. But we'll see if we can change that with our opening game in the episode at home to Brentford. They did batter us earlier in the season at their ground, which they always do anyway. So yeah, 8th place Brentford up first, should I say, and it would be a fantastic time to get a result. So then here's the team, and as you can see, we are down to the barest of bare bones. It is ridiculous, to be honest with you, the lack of fitness that we have throughout the team at this moment in time. Yeah, it's a bit of a concern. I am going to just quickly swap McGree to a deep-lying playmaker. So Mats Manson will be in goal. We've brought in Anderson Arroyo at right back because Rule Walters is struggling with his fitness. We've then got McKenna, Lenihan and Totti in the back 3. Totti in need of a rest, so I think I'll swap McKenna in and put Vandenberg on the right hand side. Matson has come in for Ryan Manning, who isn't 100% fit. I am needing a good game from Matson. His form's been pretty poor of late. McGree and Muslija are the 2 in the middle, with Diallo and Jones either side of Passetto, who's up front. As you can see, we've got injuries at the moment. Sarmiento, he's out. He picked up a calf strain in our last game. He's going to be out between 2 and 4 weeks. Itaguchi picked up a twisted ankle against Aston Villa. He's still got a week to 3 weeks before he's back. And Hayden Hackney, of course, picked up a injury quite a while back and is just over a week to 4 weeks away. And then we've got O'Brien struggling for fitness. Martial, who's just come back from injury. I mean, we have properly got an injury crisis going on at the moment at the worst time when we didn't need it. It's crazy, really. That's worked quite well, though. The assistant manager's advice has worked. Getting asked about the weather. I'm not bothered about that. But yeah, low morale, injuries, down at the bare bones. It couldn't be tougher. It couldn't be tougher out there at the moment. It's been a bit of a season from hell, and that's why I'm just sort of getting the impression that at the moment I'm just getting all the signs that it's just not going to happen for us this season. We need a squad with more depth. We need a squad with more quality. I don't think we had the resources in the summer to quite get what we needed, and even with the additional funds in January, it shows how big the gap is, because even then you can only maybe buy 1 or 2 top quality players who'll maybe get you close. It's it's tough. The gap is ginormous between the Championship and the Premier League. An early shot there was easily saved by Mats Manson. one of their best players has gone off, and Buemo's gone off with an injury, if that's any sort of possible glimmer of hope. We are still playing counter-attacking at the moment. I do think Brentford are a team we shouldn't underestimate in terms of how good they are in possession. They battered us, as I say, last time, and if we try and fight fire with fire against Brentford, I do think they will get the better of us. And the win we did get over Tottenham come from playing counter-attacking, so who knows, maybe there are times where it may work. But here's De Silva, he's run off of Arroyo, Damsgaard with a great finish. That's a wonderful goal from Mikel Damsgaard. He puts it across Hermansen into the corner, and that is simply quality right there. Made a very good run off Anderson Arroyo, didn't track him, and even with 5 at the back, they find the space, and that is a wonderful, wonderful finish into the far corner. Now then, is there any hope that we can get a goal back before the end of the half? That would be amazing if we could. Vandenberg into Ahmed Diallo here, cuts inside into Passetto. Oh, both defenders have went for the same ball. Passetto pounces and gets us level. That is exactly what we needed. Confusion at the back with the two Brentford defenders going for the same ball initially here. It was a good initial first touch. It wasn't a bad effort from Passetto, but he was quickest to react to the error, and he put it beautifully in the top corner. I completely expected him to put that over the bar, but he didn't, and we do go in level with the Bees. And it's been a very even game. You cannot separate the two sides at the moment. We'll go with what the assistant is saying once again. But I think so far, we've been all right. And it's a bit like the Villa game. We were all right against Villa as well. It was just quality. An early goal, and we never recovered from it. If we could just nick a winner, my God, it would be something. It really, really would. But I think we do maybe need to look at making a few changes, because we're already struggling with fitness, and a lot of the boys out there are struggling. Passetto's had a good game. We're going to bring him off for Martial. Jones hasn't played particularly well. Don't really have any other options other than Bangura, who might be leaving anyway. Muslija, swap him with McGree. Bring on O'Brien to sit as a deep-lying playmaker. I don't remember what game it was recently. I think it might have been Wolves, where I really pushed for the victory in that game, and obviously they scored in the 80th minute. I'm wary of pushing for the win here in case we then go and lose it, because I think we maybe were too desperate to beat Wolves. We ended up losing the game as Sharda takes a shot from quite far out. Don't know how close that was. But a point is better than nothing. And, a couple of points here and there might get you out of trouble. I feel like we've not drawn a game in absolutely ages. So, regardless of my natural instinct of wanting to win, we're going to just slow things down. And if we can get a point at home to Brentford, you know what? I'll take that. We can give the boys a bit of positivity. And it's a point at home to Brentford, and I'll take that. We seem to perform just as good, if not better than them. But yeah, well done, lads. We've proved a lot of people wrong, and they're happy with that. And that's what we've got to try and do. Take the points where we can. Praise the boys for doing just that. Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. And it doesn't get us out of trouble, but we do gain a point on Blackburn, 2 points on Newcastle. It's the small wins that we need. 5 matches without a win, of course. But nevertheless, we are going to rotate quite heavily for the next game, which I will play off screen, because I want to focus fully on the Brighton game, and it is such a congested period. I'm not too bothered about the FA Cup when we're in the League Cup semi-final, if I'm honest. We have been tasked with being competitive, whatever that means, but I think we've done more than enough in the League Cup to balance that out. So I'm going to rest the players. We're going to get the game against Hull out the way, and we'll be back for the first really big one, and that's the first leg in the League Cup away to Brighton. Well, we do have a signing to confirm. Marcus Tavernier has returned home. Essentially, the former Boro boy, who of course left us quite a few years back now and joined Bournemouth for 11.5 million, has made the trip full circle back to the Riverside. He left Bournemouth, went to Celtic in the Scottish Premiership, did quite well for them, but has come back to the Riverside now, and the reason why is to simply give us a little bit more on the left hand side. Of course, at the moment we've only really got Sarmiento. We did have Bangura, but he's not happy, so I'd like to hope we can now bring in Marcus Tavernier and allow Bangura to go. He's gotten loans from so many different clubs, so we're just going to say yes to that and let him choose where he wants to go. So it's good to see Tav come through the door. Elsewhere, Pellistri, of course, has been offered a contract by Leicester, so I do worry he might opt to join them over us. But we are still hanging on the answer between these two, and I'm still not really that confident with either of them. So we are monitoring a lot of other options. I do like this guy, Willett Swedberg from Celta Vigo, a 21-year-old Swedish midfielder, more so for depth than anything else, just to help us with the current injury crisis that we've got. And again, wouldn't be a bad player if we got relegated. Good Sky Bet Championship level, potentially a Premier League player. He looks very, very interested. It would have to be a loan. His release clause is valued at 18.5 million, which we don't have. So yeah, we are going to still have to maybe look at loans for the time being, and loans from foreign countries. But yeah, we are probably going to look to throw in an offer for this kid. There was another player who we were looking to loan who basically said he wasn't willing to make a decision yet until the end of his contract, even though he accepted an offer from another club. So think of that what you will. But I think I'm going to drop an offer in for this young lad from Celta Vigo. And yeah, it just gives us a bit more depth and a bit more quality in some of the areas where we desperately need it. Okay, so the FA Cup game has come and gone, and we lost. We lost to League One Hull City. Listen, I'm not bothered about this, if I'm honest, and it was a complete smash and grab by Hull. I mean, it was an even game, more even than we would have liked, but as you can see, we did nothing second half. I pushed us to go very attacking. I put on a second striker. I just didn't want to replay. And the only highlight in the whole game, by the way, we had one highlight in the first half, which was us from a corner heading over. The only other highlight in the entire game was us taking a corner in the 90th minute, being caught on the counter, and Hull scoring the winner. So yeah, you actually didn't miss anything, essentially, in that FA Cup game. This was us getting caught on the counter, and yeah, getting knocked out of the FA Cup. I mean, it's a great finish in the third round. It's a shame that we're out. It would have been good for morale, but I'm not bothered at the end of the day. It's one less competition for us to worry about, and we can now turn our focus fully to the first leg of the League Cup semi-final. A couple of updates on transfers as expected. Pellistri and Tell rejected the option to come here. Tavernier has officially joined, as I say, on a loan to buy. We'll pay 0.5 million for him in the summer. We are looking at a physio. Davy McGovern's going to hopefully come in from Preston to bolster our physio department and help us with all the injuries we seem to be getting. And in terms of bringing in a striker to help us up front, we're looking at Divock Origi, 30 years old. It is simply going to be a 6-month thing just to try and give us something else up front. We know how good Origi is. He seems like he'd be interested. Milan have accepted the offer. He isn't quite as good as Martial and Passetto, but he gives us that additional option, so that will hopefully give us the little bit of extra that we need up front. We've got Tavin on the left. We're still working to maybe bring in players for defence and maybe more midfielders as well. But this is the first leg of the semi-final away from home. It's imperative we come away from this at least in touching distance of Brighton. So let's get the team ready for the first leg in what is a major semi-final. So then, here's the team that will hopefully help us take something back to the Riverside Stadium. Hermansen is in goal. We've got a back five of Walters, McKenna, Lenahan, Totti and Ryan Manning. O'Brien will sit behind Florent Muslija, or alongside Muslija, as the midfield two. We've got Isaiah Jones one side, Marcus Tavernier the other. It feels weird having them two in the same 11, given the years that they've both been in the Boro side. And I am going to bring Passetto in, actually, over Martial, who didn't have a good game last time out. We have got Ideguchi edging closer to being available once again. Sadly, Hackney and Sarmiento are both out still for a while. Bangura has also left us and has gone on loan to Girona in the end, which is who he picked in Spain. So, yeah, let's play without pressure. I think that's a great shout. I'm so happy we brought Marcus Boughton in. I think he's been a great assistant manager. And yeah, let's try and take the pressure off the boys. We're not favourites in this two-legged tie at all, never mind the away leg. But it is worth noting, they're not in good form, Brighton. And they've just got a new manager as well. So I don't want to use the old cliche, but is this a good time to play Brighton in a League Cup semi? Maybe it's a better time than any, but we still just want to take something back to the Riverside. Even if we're a goal down, we can then throw everything at Brighton in the second leg. For me, we've gone cautious. If we go back to the Riverside 0-0, then job's an absolute good one, if you ask me. But, yeah, so far, a tight game. That's fine by me. We're going to keep an eye on what's going on in the other semi-final. And Chelsea are currently beating Man City in the first leg there. Of course, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge to start with. That's a great ball, by the way, across the midfield. Tavernier in behind it. Passetto. Passetto's in here. Passetto! Oh! What a chance that was. What a chance to put us one up in the away leg. That was such a good counter-attacking move. What a ball by Tav. Passetto put it over. Would Martial have took that? Hindsight's a wonderful thing. But so far, we're still in the game. Yeah, I think we've done well so far. I'm delighted with your performance so far. Keep it up. That's made them feel pretty good about themselves. They've made 3 substitutes at halftime. Brighton clearly not too happy with how things are going. They'll want to make the most of their home advantage. So far, you definitely say it's the better result for us. I mean, why has McKenna hoofed that forward though? Why has he done that? Why has he done that? Under no pressure whatsoever. And I know what's coming. Now he's done that. I have a horrible feeling when we give the ball cheaply away like that. But what an interception by O'Brien. Now, I thought we were going to really turn a counter-attacking move there, but they've cut it out early, and it is 1-0 to Brighton. I knew it as soon as we give the ball away. Even though we had the ball back briefly, Muslija gave it away. It was he sold Tav short there. Solly March got himself in front of it. And it's down that right-hand channel again. That's where we conceded in the last game that we saw on screen, that you guys saw. In that little gap. That's that's where we conceded last time. And I just hope it doesn't start to fall apart here. They've made changes. It looks like it's made a bit of a difference. Corner's cleared, but it's come back out to Solly Marsh. Let's not go 2-0 down. Oh, it's blocked, but it's not cleared. Webster to Enciso. Oh, it was going so well. And then they've made changes at the start of the second half, and 2 quick fire doubles have put Brighton 2-0 up. 1 down, I'm fine with that. 2 down, it's tough. It's going to be really tough. And you know what? I thought we might have a chance there, but Jones has gave it away. And now Solly March has literally been allowed to run the full length of... Oh, Tav's going to get himself sent off. What's he doing? What is he doing? This happened when we signed Manning last season. In his debut, he got himself sent off. Tav has just done the same. He was on a booking and he's just pushed their player over, and he wasn't even in a dangerous position. That is so infuriating. When we were literally not in the game, but now, I mean, you want to limit the damage as much as you can in a two-legged game, and now we need to keep the score down because now we are in real danger. Real danger. Right. We're going to have to just pack the midfield. 4-1, 2-1. I mean, we're not going to score now. We literally have nothing up front. But that is thanks to Tav, who has come back to the club and instantly, well, done something stupid. So, the three in midfield. We've got O'Brien at the base, McGree and Musleja, who I guess we can say can be a little bit more forward-thinking. But for me, this is just about clinging on and taking a 2-0 defeat back to the Riverside and just hoping for the absolute best. I mean, look, they've dominated. Let's not pretend they haven't. But things were not as bad as they seemed. I can't believe it. I can't believe Tav has done that. It was such a cheap and stupid second booking as well. It looked so good at half-time. I thought, great, we're in such a good position. Lenahan's now just booted the ball up against someone. Well, I guess maybe we could still make a fist of it at 2-0 if we get an early goal, but 1-0 I think would have been perfectly fine. 2-0, it's just that little bit harder, isn't it? I'm going to say you gave it your best, lads, and they did. And you know what? I can't believe they've switched off because it's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. But that's not gone down well. I've tried to keep them positive, you know, make them think that, you know, it wasn't all their fault. They were down to 10 men for the last half an hour. It ain't worked. Martial, bruised foot. Tav is out for the next game. Squad's now unhappy with the situation and squad being two players, Manning and Totti. For your team talks have been far too confusing. I'll just say I'll try and make people feel better. Try and boost morale. But anyway, we've gave ourselves an uphill task in the second leg, which will be in the next episode. We're now going to finish it with a second game in the Premier League, where we now head to Brighton, which is a bit of a preview in terms of the second leg, as we'll be heading down to Brighton's ground, I believe. Or were we at Brighton's ground then? Maybe the away leg was at Brighton, so we're pretty much just sleeping down at Brighton. We're going to stay down there. And yeah, hope we'll have a bit of better luck in a game that you could say is still more important, and that's an away trip to Brighton, this time in the Premier League. A giant blow again in our search for that little bit extra. Divock Origi has turned us down, and I just don't get it. Apparently he was very interested. What do we do? What do we do? I honestly am at a loss by how we improve this side with players who genuinely want to come here. It's honestly so tough. We are looking though to bolster with the money we have in other areas, if not up front. Ben Godfrey, a centre-back who is of Premier League quality. He is from Middlesbrough as well, or near Middlesbrough. Hopefully we'll bring him in from Everton to make us a little bit more solid at the back. We've also looked at James McAtee from Manchester City to give us a bit more quality in midfield. But I still feel like we're missing a striker, and getting hold of one who I think is up to the task, is good enough and wants to come here, remains the incredibly difficult task at the moment. So another blow in this incredibly tough season. We'll keep on looking, we'll keep on working, but even when players seemingly are interested, it's one setback after the other. Okay, so the team then for the second game away to Brighton. We've got a Manson in goal with a back five of Arroyo, McKenna, Lenihan, Totti and Manning. Again, on paper, should be good enough at this level. I'm still tempted on whether to improve the defence or not. I personally don't think we should be spending money improving it. Maybe it's the goal-scoring department where we need to improve. But anyway, the back five remains as is. We've got O'Brien and Muslija in the middle of the park. I think I'm gonna swap Muslija for McGree in this game. We've got Amad Diallo on one side, of course. We've got Isaiah Jones on the other with Anthony Martial up top. This time, Ideguchi and Hackney are slowly coming back to full fitness, and when they do, I think I might start moving back to a 4-3-2-1 formation, which is what we are, I'd say, best at, more used to. But either way, I think the more I'm thinking about where we need to improve, it's either creatively or it's that striker who's going to get us the goals from somewhere. But as you can see, yeah, the boys aren't in the best of moods. We seem to have done pretty well with our team talk there, if I'm honest. But yeah, let's see how we get on. Second match in quick succession against Brighton, and as great as it would be to obviously make a major final in the League Cup, the ultimate goal at the end of everything is that we stay up in the Premier League. And as things stand, we need results to do that. We got a good point against Brentford. I'd take another good point here today. It would edge us one closer of Newcastle, who seem like they've already played. So we would possibly jump them with a win, but let's be honest, a win is incredibly optimistic. But let's hope that no one gets themselves sent off this time. But we are sticking with our counter-attacking system. I still feel like now we've gone away from what we were used to last season. We just can't quite settle on what is right for this team, because we are simply just getting stuff like this happening. When we do have the ball, we're just not good enough on it. Solly March steps in and intercepts that time. We're just not good enough on the ball. We don't have the quality on the ball to hurt teams this season. Evan Ferguson's in, and wow, I am surprised he missed. I thought that was a guaranteed goal. In fact, he may have been offside. But, you know, when you don't have the quality on the ball, do you just sit back, counter, and hope that you can catch them and play five at the back? I don't know. I really don't know what the recipe is to staying up in this league. But it looks like stats-wise we've actually edged Brighton. It's just a case that we've not seen a highlight of that yet. And the only highlights FM is showing us is us losing the ball, which is nice of FM, as Diallo that time lost it. And this time Ferguson, I'm sure, will make sure. And he does put it past Hermansen this time. Once again, another very well-crafted move in behind the Boro defence. The ball played in behind, finished past Mads Hermansen. And you know what? I think we were arguably the better side up until that point. Unfortunately, Brighton lead once again. And they're a side who we could potentially pull into this relegation battle, you know, and yeah, they're going to pull away from us. Oh my God, that's a little bit close, isn't it? They are going to pull 3 points clear of us. We've gave the ball away in our own defensive third once again, and then a penalty to boot. So McKenna not only passed the ball to a blue and white shirt, he then brought down Matoma in what is two of the craziest, stupidest moments I've ever seen from a centre-back. And no doubt he's probably going to give Brighton a second goal. Well done, Scott McKenna. He's actually hit the post and missed. I cannot quite believe João Pedro has just missed. I'm going to break the boys, even though it's not going to probably make a difference at this stage. We should be 2-0 down. In fact, we should be 3-0 down. Yeah, not creative enough, not positive enough. But then, do we go positive and see what happens? Maybe we do. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. Every game's the same no matter what we do, but we've got to the hour, and you know what? Let's do it. 4-3-3. Let's try and get some of that sweet possession. And I'm going to be so brave. I'm going to keep O'Brien at the centre of midfield, but I'm going to play Muslija alongside McGree in an advanced playmaking role. And we're going to have 2 playmakers. Only 1 protect the back 4 now, not a back 3. McKenna's had a shocker. But other than that, looks like he's doing all right. Martial's not had a great game, so Passetto will come on for him. I've just noticed... Oh, no, they're not. We've just switched tactic, haven't we? It's switched them both to inside forward. Let's get them switched back to wingers. And other than that, I mean, Ideguchi's not 100% fit. Hackney's not quite ready to come in. So we're going to change our shape. Let's just try and be positive, eh? I'm sick of sitting back. I'm sick of counter-attacking. Let's just try and fight fire with fire, eh? And see what the hell happens. Can we find something from somewhere? Let's break the boys. See if that gets a reaction out of them. Didn't seem to, but we have a free kick here. Can we make it interesting here? Florent Muslija over the wall. And I think it was saved by the goalkeeper. Good save. But already, by being positive, we've got ourselves a few highlights here and there. Although that corner was headed out by Dunk Amad Diallo. That was a poor ball back in. And Evan Ferguson holds it up well. And this could end up being a Brighton highlight. In the end, let's go attacking. I'm sort of in a position where I'm sort of accepting that we're probably going to go down. So let's just go down swinging. You know, we've sort of tried to play the counter-attacking defensive football the board have wanted us to play, try to keep it tight. It's not worked. We're just losing games. So for me, I think we try and go attacking. We try and bring in a good striker. We've got a corner here. The goalkeeper's up as well. And yeah, this isn't going to be a Boro highlight. Nah, the game couldn't give us a nice Boro highlight, could it? It's ended up being a Brighton one. This looks extremely similar to what happened against Hull in the FA Cup. Are they going to sucker blow us here? They're playing it around. Gross in behind. Game over. Oh well, we tried going for it. The game opened up and they caught us going the other way. And that'll be it. Game over. Another defeat to Brighton. Back-to-back 2-0 defeats. I think 10 shots, 4 on target. Listen, we were in the game just as much as Brighton were towards the end when we decided to switch it up, decided to go positive. You gave it your best, lads. That was advised by the assistant. Do I even try and rectify what I've just said? I mean, that's fired them up. No, uncertain, unhappy. Ugh, you know what? I don't even know at the moment. I just don't know. We can't say right from wrong. Oh, it's only going to upset them even more, isn't it? 6 without a win. A very unhappy dressing room. Can I do anything in regards to a team meeting? I'm probably not going to get anything from the boys. But things aren't great. Can I challenge them to still stop? I don't think they'll react well to that, you know. There we go. That's worked. Okay, we've boosted morale with a positive team talk as such. Hopefully that can put the last few dodgy ones behind us. But we remain in the bottom 3. I'm going to have a lot of work to do off screen, guys, in between the next episode to try and, you know what, I just need to decide on a tactic and I just need to go with it, because essentially what we do in January is going to determine what direction we go in. I either bring in more defenders to make us more solid and stick with 5 at the back, or we go against what the board want. We fight fire with fire, go with our usual 4-3-3, and essentially we bring in attackers and we try and basically fire our way out of this situation, because essentially what has defending and counter-attacking got us? Really? I'm sick of umming and ahhing, changing my mind. We need to be decisive, and most of the results we've got, barring the Tottenham one, have not been through counter-attacking football. So for me, I think from here on in, I'm going to recruit with attackers in mind. We've brought in Tav already. We've been rejected by a few. We're going to keep on looking and see if we can just fire our way out of this situation. Because let's be fair, looking at the centre of defence, I mean, we've got defenders who are 3.5-star quality. They shouldn't be conceding as many as we are. I think essentially we're not scoring many. I mean, we've not scored in any of our last 3. So we need to find a striker from somewhere. We need to find some attackers from somewhere. Hopefully we'll get some of our attacking midfielders back. And I might look to put our £20 million into a striker from somewhere and maybe a midfielder, because we can't loan any more players from England. So we might have to put our money where our mouth is and buy a striker. Big month ahead. And I say I was going to do quite a lot off screen. We're going to have to be back for the second leg of the Carabao Cup. So essentially, yeah, I'm going to probably play Arsenal off screen because we'll probably lose. And we'll come back for Brighton at home in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-final. Wolves at home, which is a crunch game in terms of the relegation battle. We simply can't lose that. And that will then take us to deadline day, where we'll wrap up our business. And then, I dare say, we'll probably skip through February, maybe even March, and see if we are still in the battle come the end of the season. But for me, we need to pick a decision. We need to pick a direction now that we're in January, because the signings essentially that we sign now are going to be decisive in terms of whether we stay up or not. So we're going to go attacking, we're going to go for it, and if we go down fighting. But that is it for today's episode, guys. If you've enjoyed it, do hit the like button and subscribe for much more FM content. We'll be back in the next few days for the next episode of our Project Boro Save here on FM. But until then, a big thank you for watching. Do take care. Leave me a comment in the section below with any options you've got or ideas you've got for potential strikers who we could bring in. But until then, take care. I'll see you all in the next one.